So I'm here with my mom, Peg Bradley. She has a special message today. She wants to talk about her friend Betty Gavin or Liz Halpin, depending on
Where you been?
when the time was. So she wants to talk to her daughter Liz about her mom. So tell us about how you met Liz.
I met Liz in 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 Hallham when I was in, I think first or second year. I forget which one, but that's where I met her. And once I met her, she was on my hip, and she wherever I lived, she wanted to live close. And
But you were saying how beautiful she was in high school.
beautiful, she had like long hair. Well, things were long, but she had like a very pretty curly hair, but not real curly. She was just a gorgeous woman, always, and she was very witty. You know, she was as quick as they come. But when she quit school, she was young, and she married Judgy Gavin, who was a very handsome man. And they lived up, they called it Schuylkill at the time, but this is South Philly, but like it's Pine Street, um, what are the other street? I forget. But anyway, that's where she lived, one of a little street. But she went to St. Patrick's. I went to St. Anthony's. And at that time, St. Patrick was a pretty rich parish. There's a lot of fairly well-to-do people in that area. But see, she's in the poor side, like me. She's in the poor side of Schuylkill. And Juddy Gavin's sisters, Mary and Margaret, and he had brothers, a couple brothers, and they had a house. I think it was on Pine Street, and it was an old house, but they lived there with Judgy, and that's where her first baby she lost. He was a crib death. That was Joseph, and her mother was still living then, and I was having my Peggy Ann when I went to Joseph's funeral. I do remember that. So I was only 18. So I think she might have been only 16 when she had Joseph. But I went up, and we kind of always kept in contact. And wherever I was, she'd find me. There was no getting away from her. And we'd be very close. And she did a lot of really nice things. But she also did a lot of crazy things, just like me. And
That's why you were good friends.
but we were good friends because we were too much alike. But I'm saying that's not to say we really didn't enjoy each other's company.
Mm.
I said, and she had just quickest wit you'll ever have. I said she'd have hysterical everybody. I mean, and every place we ever went, they always wanted her. They always wanted her to work with them, and at that time, and then I was married and I had Billy Johnson. I kept having children, and so did she. I'm having the girls, she's having the boys. And she would say to me, one time she'd come, I hadn't seen her for a while, and she came in and she says, "You're still using the same potato pot? God help me." I said, "That's because I have girls." She said, "Milk, like the boys, they drink a couple of gallons of milk." I said, "Oh, my girls don't like milk that much." She said, "Oh my God." And then she said to me, "I'll tell you, I'll take the boys anytime." She said, at this time she only had Ann, and she said to me, "My boys are so much easier than Ann." She said, "Ann whinges and carries on." She said, "The boys, you slap them on the butt and they're fine." She said, "I don't know how you stand these girls. They would drive me crazy." I said, "Well, somebody had to have the girls. I had the girls." But a lot of it was that. But you just had a nice childhood. Your mother was good as she always worked. She worked hard. And then, after her and Judgy broke up, then it's in between, it just, and then when she met Bernie was crazy about her. He used to live there was a bar, and he just had a big apartment on top of it. And he used to go in the bar downstairs, torture her to go out.
Oh, yeah.
And she didn't want to go. And I would say, "Gee, he seems like a nice guy." And she said, "Yeah, they're all nice when you first meet them." But, how many children did she have to Bernie? I can't remember. But it doesn't matter at this time, Liz. This is about you. And I know that you're going through a lot with this pain. You have to offer that pain up for the souls in purgatory, because my Rosie's going through the same thing. But whatever it is, honey, you got to go wherever this doctor that you like is guiding you to go. Go, because you got to take care of your body, honey. You only get one, as far as I know.
What would her mother tell her?
Your mother would tell you whatever it's going to take for you to feel better. I remember I came. You came. I guess your mother was in the hospital, and you came into the hospital where you came in. I know you sat with us at the calf. I don't know if you remember that, but you were there to see your mother. I don't know what was going on with her at the time. I can't remember. How do you think I'm going to remember, Liz? I don't remember my own kids. I'm trying to remember you guys. And I remember when Dorothy and John are the same age. And one time she came in and she said, I had Dorothy. Dorothy she was such a good kid. But your mother said to me, she talked like she was 10. And she says, she brings John with her, and John's got a bib on. She said, Dorothy says, what's that kid have around his neck? And your mother said, he still has a bib on. She's talking to him like she's 10. But I'm saying we had a lot of laughs about, I had the kids, we both had a lot of kids. And we both went.
She worked every place you worked. She followed you.
Every place I ever worked, she asked me to get her a job. And I'd get her the job, and when I got her the job, they liked her better than me.
And then she moved out to Exton for you, too.
I was in Vanguard, and she said, can you get me a job in Vanguard? Of course I got her a job in Vanguard, because everybody loved her when they got her. And she used to say how dumb. She was not dumb. She was pretty smart, because I remember they had, rosters in Hallahan, and it would be like they were 1 and 2, 3 and 4, 5 and 6. I was in 5, and she was like in 3 or something. And she said, "Oh, well, you're smarter than me." See, when she didn't want to do things, she said, "Well, you can read that for me," because she didn't want to do it. So she got me to do it, and then I said to her, "Liz, why do you think they put you in 3? Because you get 2 languages in 3, and in 5 and 6 you only get 1." So she had 2. She had like Latin and French or something. I just said French. But she would say, they didn't know where else to put me. She never would say, I was smarter than you. It was always like, they didn't know where else to put me, so they put me in that one. But she always made excuses, and they were always funny. So, people who are people who are humorous. And when you're very poor.
She was pretty and funny.
Yeah, she was pretty and funny. And the Irish are known to be very witty. And when you read anything about the Irish in the potato famine, they were dirt poor. And that's how I think the Irish got to be so funny. They used to make up stories about the potatoes and being poor, how lucky they were.
You have to tell Liz about Charlie Manson.
Oh, yeah. One time, your mother came to see my mother. We had to have the restaurant. I also gave her a job in the Stagecoach as a bartender. But she came to see my mother. And my Linda had just been, she had just been there with the doctor to take Billy to the pediatrician. And she says, I said to Liz, I would gladly mind the kids for her if she and Dave liked to go on vacation. I said she goes no place without the kids. I said, and I've offered that I would definitely mind them. And I said she wouldn't do that. And I said to your mother. So he said, she wouldn't let you mind them. She said, I'd let Charlie Manson mind my kids. And if you knew who Charlie Manson was, he was But I was hysterical. Well, my mother didn't get it. My mother didn't know who Charlie Manson was. But I was hysterical. I'm thinking, who in the
That's
hell
still funny. Who
would think of Charlie Manson with my beautiful grandchildren? But she's, I'd let Charlie Manson did come on my kids.
Yes.
But your mother she was very good. She gave my friend Reba, who grew up with me, and she was in our Rainey's wedding, and she was having a baby, and she wasn't getting along with her mother, and I said to your mother, because she always wanted to go babysit her, and I said, I was trying to help Reba because I know I couldn't take her to my house because Billy Johnson wouldn't have it. So what I said to your mother, Do you think you could give Liz a job minding your kids?
Oh, Reba.
Reba, I mean, would you give Liz a job minding your kids? I told her the story, and she said, "Oh yeah, sure." And she said, "I said she will take it real good to the kids. She's a good cook." I said the kids will love her because she's really good at what she does. I said, but she's in a bind, and I don't know how else to help her. And she took her in.
Mm-hmm.
She really did. She was great. And Reba was good too. I'm not saying Reba didn't do a good job. She did. And then, of course, she was making. Well, I'm working the open hearth, and your mother's the open hearth, and they get Reba in the open hearth. It's a vicious circle, but it started with your mother. Like, well, just tell me you have a nice girlfriend and all kinds of bullshit. But they winded up loving her. It was just the way it was. Mm. Customers loved her, and she would tell to the maitre d'. She would tell Kevin the maitre d'. I said, we got a big party. I'll take the big party. I don't want the kids though. Put the kids in another table. And what do you mean you got to take? See, he took her seriously. I didn't, but. Like, she's just put the kids. Now, how do you put the kids at another table? But that's what she says to him. And the people that she was waiting on, they had a nice menu, and they were having oysters Rockefeller. And one of the clients said to her, and the maitre d's right not far from standing where they're talking, and he said, "What do you have for appetizers?" And she says, "Oh," she said, "we have oysters, Benedict, not Rockefeller. What's another famous millionaire?"
Eisenhower. I don't know.
Yeah. She said, "Oh, we have oysters Eisenhower," and the guy said, "Oh, really, Liz? What is that?" And then Kevin, who's the maitre d', he said, and he goes over to the customer. "Oh, gee, I'm sorry, Mister. They knew the customers. They were rich people from the neighborhood." He said, "Oh, I'm so sorry." Nick gets confused. It's oysters. See, he knew what oysters Rockefeller. Or he knew what oysters Rockefeller were, but of course he didn't know who oysters whatever list. But the customers they loved it. They were hysterical. They just anytime they came in, they wanted Liz to wait on them. They were good tippers, and she would. But she would tell. They'd tell Kevin, "Well, we go to that one table with Liz."
Oh, jeez.
And he would say, "Well, Peg's available." No, we want Liz.
So we all miss Liz. Liz sent me a note that she's going to be gone for a year. So we're just gonna.
Where's she going?
She's been gone. Liz has passed away.
Oh, that's right. Well, Liz, I was there. I'm sure you remember, and I gave Belle my rosary beads that I pray every day. I gave them. I said she could pray for your mom, and I sent white roses, a bowl of white roses, and I sent, I think, red roses and a separate thing from my kids. So I took care of your mother because she'll haunt me.
But you miss her. You miss her mom.
I missed your mother. I really did because she would pop up. I would be going, different places, and she'd pop up.
You pick up where you left off.
But she'd pick up. When I moved out to Exton, and she came out to visit one day. I don't know how she found me, but she found me, and she was with Bernie then, and she got an apartment in William Henry Apartments, which was 20 minutes from me by car, and she wanted to be near. And then I lived on the house where your John is now, where Bernie and her bought that house, but that was around the corner from me.
She's following you.
She followed me, but I'm saying it was all good memories, nothing bad, and it goes back a long way.
Yeah.
It really does, but I miss her. It's a year, and it's hard to believe. But she's up in heaven, not missing a trick. She's probably got my place. She's probably saying to the Lord. Now, Peggy can sit here where I am. She can tell me what to do.
What if they like her better in heaven than they like you?
That's what's going to happen. And I'm just going to have to talk to Jesus because she's going to have a better spot. She'll have Jesus thinking, just listen to me, Jesus. Don't listen to her. But but I still miss her. I loved her dearly. And I love you, Liz. I'm going to pray for you because you have to get that taken care of, hon. Very important. And stay, whatever your kids, when you see them, I'm sure you see Belle. I don't know where you live now. I have no idea. But anyway, that's enough. I can't keep talking on this thing because Marie's got to hold up. All right, hon. God bless. Love you. Talk to you're going to have the other tapes going to come on as soon as Marie gets time. She's very busy. She has 3 jobs. Okay? All right. God bless. Love you.